Saturday, and it's just on my, but it warmed up Sunday.
Okay, it's okay, baby. He's all panicky.
Who is it?
Hey, here's
So what's going on?
Oh, much.
Let me tell you, on the movie last night, and I've got series of emails, and Christi was on CC. Stuart Rosenthal, was it 8 days after I sent a thing going, hey, can you do this without Melanie? He sent a thing back that he's talking with Tom and Wells, and it's in front of them.
Who is Tom?
I don't know.
Okay.
Wells Fargo. Talking with Tom and Wells, and, you know, thank you, you know, for trying to get them to do it. Talking with Tom and Wells to see if Melanie's attorney wanted to see your contract with them. He's running that by them to see if they're okay, but what we will do is take out the financial details of it and basically, you know, just black that out. So, okay, this is what it is. I told him, I said, and he said, what are their concerns, because they've had it forever, and I went, you know, we don't know. And I said, I suspect they want money to amend the contract. And he went, well, we don't have money. And I went, no, I suspect they're going to try to get money from us on it, and we don't have money.
About the documentary people?
For the documentary to amend the contract. And he went, well, he's going to talk with them, he's going to get back with us. Their movie, by doing the movie in and of itself, will do nothing but help the documentary. He said, so, you know, us doing that helps them, so I don't know why they wouldn't want to. But anyway, it was a series of exchanges strangely last night. And I wrote, strangely, you know, you're seeing this, I said, I'm meeting with Kevin tomorrow. So anyway, that's where we are.
So the movie people would have to take out something, what?
No. The movie people, strangely, in Hollywood, all of a sudden want to amend the contract that you have with Melanie. They've had your contract the whole time.
What does it mean, amend?
What I sent you, that last thing. They want to change up some of the provisions in it.
Okay.
Of the contract you have with Melanie. They want you all to agree to do it.
Do they say why they want that? I mean,
No.
what do they get out of it?
No, I don't know.
Is it my life story rights? Is that it?
They've got that. They will get your life story right.
The Hollywood people.
That's what the option is.
So do the documentary people, do they want the rights to it so they can do other stuff after the actual documentary?
I don't know what their holdup is. I have no idea whatsoever. But for some reason, Wells, they want this amendment between you and Melanie. Now, Melanie's attorney has come back and went, well, we want to see the other contract, which is irrelevant to them in my opinion, but I sent that to them, and I went, what do you all think? Wells, what do you think, you and Tom think, and your attorneys think? And he got back last night, and they still don't have an answer. They might go ahead and show that contract that you got with them, taking out the financial part of it. And I said, you just let us know, and we'll all discuss it on the same page.
Why do they want the financial part taken out?
Well, do you want Melanie to know what you're getting?
From the movie deal?
I want it taken out. I don't want Melanie to know what you're getting as far as the movie deal. So
Melanie shouldn't know. It's none of her business.
That's right. It's zero business of hers. I want that taken out, and so do they. They don't want Melanie to know what they are paying you.
Okay.
And she shouldn't know.
Okay. So that's where we are with the movie. In my opinion, it's taking way too long, but and as I've put in these emails before, the only holdup we've ever seen are from their end. And like I said, I invite, if we want to call Wells right now, you know, we can call and do whatever we need to do, but there's been no holdup on this end ever. So,
Well, Hal.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Right now, so is the holdup on Melanie's end now?
Yeah, it's actually Wells and them. We had the original contract we signed, and I think you were in there, Paulette.
I was.
And we sent that back. Then we've
Right.
gone this length of time. Now, on that contract was attached Melanie's contract. Now,
Right.
Melanie's contract was attached way before that on all of the revisions to get that contract. So they've had Melanie's contract forever.
Right.
I don't know if this is some stall tactic by Wells. I don't know what it is. I really don't. It's very perplexing and you can't get a straight answer, but for all of a sudden this need for this amendment. And that's kind of where we are.
And the amendment states something about Kevin's, the rights to Kevin's life on that. And from what I understood, and correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't that originally in Melanie's thing about the rights to his life after the documentary is done?
I'm not.
Isn't that what they wanted?
They've got the life story, and apparently in Melanie's there was an issue on fictionalizing, and it was all in her contract. And I think that's what the amendment is really pointing to. We don't want her to be able to go back, and they're not going to fictionalize. They don't want her to go back and be. It's all around the fictionalization of Kevin's life story.
Right. Yeah, because I don't think she should have it either.
Hollywood will fictionalize it.
Yeah, and Hollywood wants to be able to do it.
They do whatever they want, but documentary is documentary.
Documentary has got to be facts. That's right.
Well, and here's the thing. Melanie's company is new. Like, I looked it up. When Kevin told me Velvet Ditch, I looked it up, and that was a really newly formed company. This is probably their first major thing. Am I right?
It's newly formed, but they've been around for a long time. She's well known.
They formed Velvet Ditch, I think, for this. Her other one was called, what was it, Tulip?
Something like, she's been around a long time, though.
Yeah, but Velvet Ditch, though, I'm talking about, only was formed 2 years ago, correct?
Probably for this
I
company,
think it was formed for
which is very common practice.
Yeah. I guess it's just, you know what, it's like every day, I guess I see I see and hear the frustration in Kevin, and I don't blame him, and it's like this contract keeps going back and forth, and everybody wants this, and everybody wants that. Like, it's ridiculous already. I mean, you got to agree with that.
I certainly agree with it. As I said when I walked in here, I think this thing should have been done 6 months ago or a year ago. I mean, we've done everything they've asked. We immediately, when we got their contract, we went through, we walked through this thing probably 10 or 15 times on the very first one. Everything was attached, everything they asked for, Melanie's contract, and here we are again. So, the thing that I don't like is, and I don't know if Wills or someone, is talking, to Kevin, and, maybe Kevin can enlighten us on this, saying, okay, well, the holdup is on this end.
Right.
I can go back and, I absolutely resent that, because when I stop everything and focus on it, if I have to go through the evenings and do it, and we work on it, and we get things back, and things have gone like that, because I know your situation, and I know if you get money rolling in here, things will start turning around for you.
Well, they will, and the thing is, you have to look at it from Kevin's perspective, too. I mean, he's getting someone saying, oh, it's not my fault, the other one's going, it's not my fault, the other one's going, it's not my fault. He's confused, and rightfully so. He doesn't know what the hell is going on. So, he's looking to you guys to give him the answers that he needs, and that's why he's been frustrated.
Sure.
And
Paulette,
and rightfully so.
Paulette, I appreciate that. I do. But here, as his attorney, I've told him the truth from the very beginning, and will continue to tell him the truth. And if there was a hold up on my end, I'd be glad to say it. But he's not getting the truth when someone else he's talking to on that end is saying, oh, well, the hold up is your attorney's. That's
right.
Crap. That's just crap. That's not safe.
Wells texts me.
Yeah, and that's just it, right? Because, like I said before, it just seems like there's just one delay after another, and all he wants to do is get on with his life. He's got Laura coming at him, thinking because he was told, Laura was told, she's going to be getting all this money from Kevin. I'm sorry, that's his ex-wife. She doesn't get nothing. It's the kids. It's not her. So he's got Laura coming at him for money. She's being told this and that and the other thing, and. You put yourself in Kevin's shoes, and, we can't even move on.
Okay.
I came back to Canada, because there's so much shit going on down there. It's ridiculous. Everybody's going at him for something.
Okay.
What
is it that y'all think we can do that we are not doing? That's my question. We can't make Stuart Rosenthal move any quicker. Kevin signed that contract in October. they had everything they needed in October, and then come February, they changed their mind. It has nothing to do with us. I don't think it has anything to do with Melanie. It has to do with they changed their mind, and we can't do anything about that.
So, Melanie and those guys getting this contract, why is it taking so long on their end to sign off on it and get this thing going?
I'll tell you that. Melanie already has a contract. So
I'm sorry, she already has what?
Melanie already has a contract with Kevin, and
Right.
we're coming in, actually, we're being asked by another movie company to now amend that contract, and I'm not sure exactly where Melanie is. I think she's almost near conclusion of her documentary, but now another movie company has asked us to ask her to amend her contract.
Right. So, so in layman's terms, what is that amendment? Just in plain English, what is it they want her to do?
I honestly, it's about the fictionalization part that she had in there, and that's the way it was explained. And I said, Stuart, exactly what is it you want in this? He went, I'm going to send a lot of it. It's about the fictionalization part that is in her documentary, and because it is in her documentary, he said, and it's attached to our contract, we would like to see, if at all possible, they will agree to the amendment. And at that conversation, I went, Stuart, do we really need their permission to go forward? I went, because people assign their rights to a contract all day long. And he agreed with me at the time, but now he's come back and apparently he's talked with Wells, and, you know, I don't know exactly what Wells and Tom are seeking here. It's not a dead issue. I think where we are now is the contract with the redactions, the part on what Kevin's going to be paid, will block that out. I think they're going to, Wells and Tom will probably come back in and say, we can't just say we're going to give you the contract. They have to agree to it. The contract is between them and Kevin. So if they agree to give the contract and we agree to give the contract, I say let's give it to them with a redaction of what Hollywood is going to pay Kevin. And then if they're happy with it, I don't see an issue or why they would not sign the amendment. Here is one of my concerns. They make it real. One of the statements by the attorney for Melanie. Why should we amend the contract when we already have a binding contract without somebody's walking up?
It's my mom to get her car payment.
Why would we amend the contract when we have a binding contract without some form of compensation? Well, I'm just saying, that's what they're saying.
Oh, that's what they're saying? Like Wells' side?
No, that's what Melanie's attorney sent back to us.
Oh, okay. So wait a minute. Let me just see if I'm hearing you correctly on this one. So are you telling me that they are maybe holding up on signing it because they think that they should be monetarily compensated for agreeing to this amendment?
It very easily could be the case. Let me do it in another scenario. You've got a contract with someone else. And your contract is almost complete, and that person wants to come change it 2 years later. And you go, well, I don't need to change it. I've got everything I need. But I'm willing to change it, but, you know, there might be some money in it for me if I do change it. And so that's where this is coming from.
So I was right when I was explaining it to you what I thought I understood. So I was correct in that, right?
We don't know. They have not said that they want to be compensated. They simply asked for the Hollywood contract so that their lawyer can review it. But their lawyer is, and I mean, I think he's right, Melanie's lawyer is kind of like, well, why should we amend it? What's in it for us to amend it? And that's where
we are.
We are on that. They've not made a demand to.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But here's the thing. See, what I don't understand is that there was a contract between Velvet Ditch and Kevin originally.
Right.
So now what's going on is now everyone, and now they may be battling to get money from it before they sign off on it. They want either, because I think you said something about they might want money from you guys or Kevin or Wells' side of things, right? To amend it, right?
No, not right. They have a pending contract. Melanie can walk away right now and go, we don't need to do anything ever again. We've got a pending contract.
Right, exactly.
So there is an amendment to change that contract being requested by one of the parties, by Kevin, through the other movie company. Okay? So they're going, why should we do this without even an offer of compensation or anything, but we'd like to see the other contract. And that is where we are. Now,
so it is, at this point in time, the holdup is not with you guys, the holdup is not with Wells, the holdup right now, and I was right when I said this, is with Melanie and her attorneys, correct?
No, the holdup is with Wells and Tom, and on that end, can they go forward with Melanie's contract like they had 6 months ago?
Oh, okay.
So that's a question. Can they go forward? I think they can. Do they want to? That question is still out there.
Why would they not want to?
Apparently, for some reason, it's a great question, Kevin. We don't know. They keep putting this off, and now here came this amendment, and that was the first thing I was going, why are we visiting Melanie's contract, this far down, right at the signing point, why are we doing this? And
so you said how it's about the fictionalization of Kevin's story. That's the issue here right now. So maybe Wells' side is saying they don't want Melanie to have that. They don't want Melanie and her group to go and do maybe a fictionalization story on Kevin after the documentary is produced because they want those rights. Is that what you're saying?
I think that's it in a nutshell.
Okay, now I get it. Okay. You have to excuse me because I sort of have to, I have to work it out in my brain because there's so much information, right?
Paulette, I've been wrestling with it and trying to get my arms around it as well. Yeah. I'm not kidding, so don't beat yourself up on it. I've been beating myself up on it, trying to get, just a straight up answer as to why we have another delay here.
Right, and that's when you went to them and said, do we really need this right now? Is it necessary? Do you guys need it? Can we not just move forward? But that's what you had done, right?
That's right, and that was 8 days ago. Can we do this without them? And last night, I got a response, Hal, thank you for your efforts. I'm still talking with Tom and Wells about this.
Who said this, Stuart?
This was Stuart Roosevelt, their attorney, the big Hollywood attorney. And
so they're sitting back going, okay, do we let it go? Or do we force the issue with Melanie and her attorneys? And if they do, right, then we may have more delays because Melanie could come back with an attitude and say, screw you guys, we're not taking this out. And then everything is at an impasse and it just stops. And then you guys are off trying to fix it again, correct?
You're right. It could be one of those two things. Wells and Tom might go, screw it, we don't need Melanie, we don't need, them to approve whatsoever. Kevin is assigning, his right to us by this contract. It was worth the try. If she's not going to do it, she's not going to do it. We're not going to pursue it.
Well, the way I see it is Melanie is a small-time documentary. She has a small-time documentary company, okay? This is her. I mean, she may have had a company before this, and I'm just speaking business-wise. I'm not talking about any personal feelings because personal feelings don't belong anywhere here. I'm just saying they're bigger than she is, and maybe this is the bread and butter. I don't know. Maybe this might catapult them into doing more things and get more business. But here's the thing: one of them has to agree to something because Kevin is the one that's going to lose out big on this, and you guys too because you're getting paid for it. So I just hope to God that all these personal feelings stop because it's enough already, and someone has to sign off on it. You know what I'm saying? And I think you agree with that, Hal, don't you?
I'm not sure about the personal feelings on this contract stuff with the movie. I've never spoken, I don't believe I've spoken to Wells.
Right.
I don't think.
Oh, no, I'm talking Melanie's side, I'm just saying.
I don't know.
This is probably a big thing for her.
Yeah, I don't know.
And right now, because the movie people are saying, well, we want this amendment, even though we've had the contract for Melanie, but now we want to change something on it, the fictionalization part, but then Melanie's going, well, I'm not signing nothing right now because, well, you know, what's in it for us if we do go and do that, correct?
Well, you're right, and I agree with you. I think they are certainly a bigger company, and they are certainly going to do nothing but help Melanie and her company.
Exactly.
But Melanie, as far as documentaries, do some research on her. I really didn't realize, I mean, she's a big name out there. She really is. And well known apparently in Hollywood as well. So, but you're right, and that was his point last night. Their company, if we go forward with the film and we come to the agreement, will do nothing but help Melanie and give her a lot more exposure than she's going to get. Realize Melanie's, apparently HBO has talked with Melanie about her separate from this movie deal, okay?
Okay.
So, I mean, so Melanie is a player out there. And
well, I don't dispute her talents at all. I think she's a great journalist and whatever she does. And, you know, that's definitely not up for dispute or argument here. The thing is that, you know, what I'm looking at from my side of things is, you know, I'm watching Kevin and the frustration of this contract going back and forth 2 years after the fact or whenever it started. And, you know, and now it's like, okay, so these guys want an amendment, and I do agree with them. I think that they would give Melanie and her company better exposure. I don't see the issue. I don't see why they wouldn't just sign off on it. And, you know, but it's going to come down to money, Hal, because it always does, right? They're going, well, we're not going to, you know, if we sign this, you know, what are we going to get?
Well, I agree, and Paulette, when I saw that one sentence in her attorney's email, I can't help but agree with you on it. It's like children squabbling, and it's what makes the practice of law not a pleasant thing and a very difficult job. But that's exactly. I'm as frustrated, if not more frustrated, because I put a lot of time and hours in, and I feel like we've gotten everything just perfect.
Yep.
And then here it comes back to us in our face. So it's very frustrating for me, I promise you, and no one wants it concluded more so. And the thing I can't stand is to make a phone call to them or an email, and then I have to wait a week to hear from them. And I know they're busy, and I know they got, he named all the movie stars the very first time Christi and I talked to him. I know he's a very, very busy man, and I understand that. But this should be a straightforward contract. This went to them. They've had this, good Lord, for over a year now, going back and forth and back and forth. They've had everything from Melanie going back and forth and back and forth. And all of a sudden, for some reason, somebody on that end, on Wells' end, wants this amendment. I don't know what that is about.
Got to be a reason.
Yeah, I don't know what it's about, other than he kept explaining it's regarding the fictionalization part of it. He was stating it should have never been in her contract.
So why do you think she put it in her contract? Because she wanted the full rights to go after the documentary was completed and out there. She wanted to be able to go back and fictionalize the story.
No,
right?
not for a second. Do any fiction.
Yeah, not for 1 second do I think that. I think it's what they call a boilerplate contract, and it has everything in the kitchen sink in it. Remember Kevin's when it first came from Stuart Rosenthal? It was everything in the kitchen sink in there they wanted. They wanted the right to know when he went to the restroom. And
yeah, I do. I remember that.
And so I think that's where she came from on it. But from day one, Melanie has been very clear. I'm a documentary person, and that's what I do. That's what I'm known for. That's what HBO is interested in. I do documentaries. I don't think for 1 second she'll ever come back. I think this is it, and she will move on to the next project.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, if she's saying she's strictly a documentary person, this should not be an issue then. It should be signed off and be done with it. I mean, this has just gone on so long.
Let me say something. How about 3 weeks ago, Wells texted me and said, they have a check ready for you, a lot of money, over $75,000 or $175,000. He said they have a check signed, ready to go out to you, and
would you send me that text, and then I will send it
Sure.
to the attorney and go, you know what?
And he said, because, he said, but now we have to wait on Melanie to sign off on your life movie rights before you can be paid. But they said they're ready to pay you right now the advance.
See, and
That's where I got hostile. I'm like, oh my God.
We need to call Wells.
I
This is
disagree with that legal thinking. If Stuart Rosenthal is telling, I disagree with that because we all know you can assign your right to any contract. Let's say you got a lease on this building, and you go, hey, I'm going to move to Alaska, and I'm going to sign it to you. I'm going to sign my part of this contract to you. You can do that. It's done every second of the day. And I think in this situation, that's what this whole thing was about, them buying your rights to everything, your life rights and the document. Why else was the documentary contract attached to their contract?
Right.
So I do disagree, and I'm hoping, and I think the easiest, cleanest way is for them to come back and go, we don't need Melanie's approval. Hal's right. We're going to go forward. We're going to take it, and we'll take our chances.
How close are we to that? To finding out that we can move forward without the Melanie.
You know, we got the email last night, and the email was I'm talking to Wells, and that's what I was thinking. You know, if we want to get Wells on the phone, I'd love nothing better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you.
Who is Melanie's attorney, Bella Ditch?
What's his name?
Walt Davis.
Walter Davis.
Where's he from?
He's there in Jackson. Oxford.
Oh, okay.
He sure is. And Stuart Rosenthal was going. He made the comment. He didn't think that Walt Davis really knew what he was doing. So, and I'm a
But that's just typical
lawyer.
being.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
Okay, I want to talk to Wells. Have you got his number?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because that is just so contrary